Three brave amigos are we, brother to brother and everyone, a brave amigo. Wherever they need us, our destinies lead us, amigos, we're always together. Wherever we go with three brave amigos, and we'll be amigos forever. We are the three amigos. We are the three amigos. We are the three amigos, and amigos forever will be.
That was actually me and Jeff singing that.
You don't understand. I don't shoot at people. You see, it's against...
Soundbite continued.
Whoops.
Anyone that liked that soundbite, thanks, Jeff. Thank you to Jeff for giving us that.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
All right, so welcome to the Rhythm Section podcast, everybody. That's Jeff.
That's Derek.
All right, we are the Rhythm Section. In this podcast, we discuss music, interview the best musicians in the greater Memphis area, and talk about random nonsense. I think that's where we're best.
We started with some random nonsense.
So, follow us on Facebook at The Rhythm Section Pod, on YouTube at Derek Michaud Channel. The spelling is in the description. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all of the other major podcast channels. This show is recorded at the SRP Studios in Hernando, Mississippi, and produced by Shelby Row Productions, a podcast production agency. SRP develops professional podcasts, which include audio and video production, graphic designing, copywriting, and social media management. Do you want to start a podcast, Jeff?
Well, yeah.
We'll go to ShelbyRowProductions.com and schedule a free consultation. And as always, parental discretion is advised in this podcast.
Absolutely.
How you doing, Jeff?
Awesome, man. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. So, it's exciting. This is a good day today. They're all good, but
Yeah.
this is extra special because we finally have an interview.
That's right.
We're finally publishing an interview. And we talked to Tim Dills from Fevertree. We had a good time, and we're gonna get more into his little bio here before we lead into the interview, and a little description of what they're expecting to hear from this interview. But first, we got to have a little Derek and Jeff show on the front end here.
Okay.
As we do with all these interviews.
Yeah.
I had mentioned in a previous episode that the format will change a little bit now that we have interviews. Full disclosure, to kind of give people an idea of how this is going to work, is we record the interviews, and then we bank them. And then when we decide who we want to publish, then we do this intro uniquely. That is why you're going to see a wardrobe change.
Yes. We didn't actually change clothes to do this.
Yeah. So we want to do it this way so we can be a little more current.
Yeah.
Because we might do an interview and not publish it for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So we want to have the opportunity to come in here and do these intros in more real time.
Right.
All right. So, Jeff, we have an announcement today, don't we?
Do we?
He didn't get the text, I guess.
I didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
This is fun. We're keeping this, by the way.
Great.
We're absolutely keeping this.
It goes right along with the intro music.
Yeah, so I texted you.
Okay.
We're going to talk about our new socials
Yeah.
and our YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, take it over. I screwed that up.
No, we're not. No.
No, I'm saying you take the lead because I have really royally screwed that up.
I can't wait to fire you on air,
I know.
too.
Well,
No,
you know.
this is fun. Hey, this is part of the deal here.
I can't really lose that income.
I threw you under this. Your face turned red.
Did it really?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's pretty funny.
All good, man. All right, so yes.
Yeah.
We finally have a Facebook page.
Yep.
It's at the Rhythm Section Pod.
Yep. I knew that.
And you're going to see all our clips and everything there now, and thumbnails, unique videos, maybe special announcements, and all that stuff.
Right.
And you'll also notice we have some new artwork.
Yes.
What do you think of the artwork, Jeff?
I think it's awesome, and it's pretty cool that the guy who we just interviewed in the studio is going to be, he's a good connection for having some things made up with our artwork on them, and that'll be coming in the near future.
Yeah, so go check out our new thumbnail, our new banner on Facebook. You'll see illustrations of me and Jeff's faces.
Yeah.
And we took off some of Jeff's hair on his cartoon, but so also with that is we are finally published on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all over the place. So what you're going to find in the description and as our website URL on our Facebook page, you have a little section, your About section. You can put links in there.
Right.
The link I have in there is called Linktree. A lot of people are familiar with Linktree. If you're not, it's a super free platform where you can add multiple links underneath one link. So when you click that Linktree, it will open up a page, and in there you can choose whether you want to watch us on YouTube, listen to us on any of the audio platforms, find our page, find your personal profile, my personal profile. So now we're really stretching this network out.
Yeah. And I have no idea why you wanted me to do all that, because you just did a hell of a job.
Oh, yeah, I was going to do it.
Oh, okay.
But I was just like, throwing it your way. Hey, we have an announcement today.
Oh.
And you were going to be, this is what Jeff was supposed to do, is be like, yes, we have a new Facebook page, Derek.
Well, yeah, and you guys had to wait 3 weeks for me to figure out that when Derek says, that's Jeff, I'm supposed to say, and that's Derek. I've just been saying hi like an idiot.
Hi.
Yeah. So I'm a little slow on the uptake.
It's all good. It's all good. So we're excited. We're branching out finally. All of these things were supposed to be done before we even started, but we jumped in. We wanted to get things rolling. That's why you had 3 episodes where it was just me and Jeff. Yep. But today is different.
It is different.
So let's talk about our guest.
Yeah, we got the incomparable Tim Dills, lead singer and songwriter for Fevertree. What a great guy. He came in, he's made the interview so easy. He had a wealth of knowledge, and we learned so much, and we are ready to share that with you guys now. He's an awesome guy that's got an awesome band, and it's one of those bands I don't know how they're just on the local level.
Yeah, a really nice guy.
Yeah.
This is the first time I meet him.
Yeah.
Just pleasant. Came in, ready to tell stories. We talked about, obviously, his history, where he grew up, how he got involved in music, different bands he's played in, how Fevertree came to be.
Yeah.
I wish I would have asked him where the name came from. That was one thing I forgot.
You would think we'd remember that.
I know, that's a no-brainer to ask a band.
Yeah, we got to talk to him about the recording process of their album and
writing too, how they kind of typically write and how that flow happens. And also, we play a song.
Yep.
We play, what was the name of the song we played?
Social Mediocrity.
Yes.
I got it right that time.
No.
Mediocrity.
Mediocrity.
See, I get them screwed up.
I made the same mistake in the interview. It's not mediocrity.
No.
It's badass.
It's badass.
The name of the song is Social Mediocrity.
Yeah.
So we went and played that song for him in real time. So if you're just listening, you'll hear the song. If you're watching, we're going to throw up some slides and pictures of Tim and Fevertree, so you're not just watching us stare at each other. So.
And I don't know if we covered this in the interview, but I'll throw it out there now. The cover, the artwork for the cover was shot by Danny Day, another guy that we're going to have in the studio interviewing.
Oh, for the album cover.
Yep, he was the one that took that photograph.
Danny Day is awesome. He will be making an appearance.
Yep,
he will be here. Well, awesome. We enjoy this podcast. We've enjoyed the last 3 episodes, the last few weeks of doing this, but we're very happy and excited to finally get to the real reason we're doing this podcast, and that is to highlight the people that make it what it is.
Right.
And Tim is no exception. He's a force to be reckoned with on stage, but off stage, sweetheart.
Yeah.
And very chill and really cool. And he was very great, gracious to come down here all the way down to Hernando from like the Bartlett area to come talk to us and share his story. So no further ado, let's move on to the interview part.
Yeah.
Jeff, it's been fun, but I think the audience is finally happy that it's not just the Derek and Jeff show.
Well, I'm kind of happy about it myself.
All right, y'all, enjoy our interview with Tim Dills of Fevertree.
Yep.
Tim Dills, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Derek. Appreciate it, man.
No problem. So we're excited to have you in here. We love your band, Fevertree, right?
That's right.
We're going to talk about Fevertree and the history behind it. When we started this podcast, we were just put together a wish list, and my main man here, co-host Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
is the one that put this all together, and man, we couldn't be more grateful that you were willing to take the drive down here.
Man, I'm honored to be here. You got a cool spot. This looks like you guys are going to have a lot of fun doing this.
It's a very expensive man cave, is what this is. So, this is like I just mentioned off mic before we started. You know, I built this room to use it, and I want to use it for good. And then, man, I love talking to musicians and stuff because obviously me and Jeff have a history as being musicians. So, but it's not about us, Jeff. Today's about Tim.
I know.
All right. So I see that you are from Dyersburg, Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, I was actually born in Memphis, and I'm adopted, and so I was adopted from the Baptist Children's Home, which they just tore down all the buildings out off the summer.
Okay.
But I was raised in Dyersburg, and
Dyersburg is east of here, right?
North, about 80 miles north.
North. Okay.
And my mom and dad, who adopted me, divorced when I was young, and my mother moved here. So I spent every other weekend and summers in Memphis. But I was raised up in Dyersburg, Tennessee, until I was about 18.
Okay. And then did you decide to just move here full time?
Yeah, I moved here in 84.
84.
Yeah.
Looked a little different back then.
Oh, yeah. Everything, including me.
Right.
But yeah, it was a lot different. I remember riding the Greyhound bus from a young age, like around 5 or 6 years old. My dad would drop me off, buy my ticket, and I would get on the bus and come see my mom. And you'd get to Fraser, and you were like in a town outside of Memphis. You know, you were still, and then you would leave the bus station in Fraser and come into Memphis. You know,
was Fraser then like it is now?
Oh no, it was like a complete. It was its own little. It was sort of like, I guess Millington would be now, or towns outside of
just
Memphis.
Its own little community.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So when did you start music?
Well, I had interest at a young age. I was probably 6 years old, and my grandfather was a Southern Baptist preacher. My grandmother either played piano or organ at whatever church he would preach at, but she also gave lessons. And she started giving me lessons when I was young, and I didn't want to read the music, so I would memorize it and then just play it and act like I was reading.
Right.
And she got mad and wouldn't give me lessons anymore because I wasn't reading. So that ended, and then I guess when I was 11, I got a drum set.
Yeah. Good for you.
Right.
Oh, nice.
and I played drums. I probably had, I don't know, I guess 3 drum sets till I was about 18.
Yeah.
But I started writing on piano in my house, and that was my writing tool. And that's where I think it really started. My first band was actually a Christian rock band in Dyersburg called Golgotha.
Okay.
And I did that for maybe a year. And then when I moved to Memphis in 84 is when I really started playing. So
being an original artist was really from the beginning. You just enjoyed writing and creating.
Well, yeah. I mean, later on, you know, I started, I'm not that great at working up covers.
Yeah.
I mean, I can now.
Right.
When I was younger, it was easier for me to write.
And that is a talent I do not possess.
Yeah. I'm cover guy. You know,
yeah.
that's my career has been just being a cover bass player. So I appreciate the other side.
Well,
Yeah,
and me too. I appreciate the cover side because there's so many guys that are really good at it, and I can do it enough to get by now. But you know, as far as you know, being one of the great, you know, cover bands, I just don't know that I could ever do it. You know? Because it takes a different kind of talent, you know, to be good at it.
You don't have to worry about it because you're doing a damn fine job with the original stuff. So,
right.
Well, I mean, to me, that's always been a choice thing. You know, I mean, I like to write. You know, if I could make a living, you know, playing cover tunes, getting out and doing it, I would do it. But I don't know.
There's an end game to being in a cover band. You know, you can make, you know, Memphis, you're only going to make so much.
Right.
And kind of boring. It can get boring and you can find yourself, you paint yourself in a corner sometimes. We don't have that outlet. You know, we get stale and bored. I'm speaking for myself. I'm not trying to speak for every other cover artist out there. But, but the trade-off for what you guys do, you have to sacrifice. You're not going to really make a whole lot of money, but you get that outlet. You guys it's your personality. It's you and the music. So when people go see you, and I from my first experience going to Neil's to see you guys, Fast Mothers and Every Mother's Nightmare was my first real time to see like, oh, these local Memphis rock bands, this is great. And there's a difference in energy. It just is. And you can see a great cover band, and I'm a cover band guy. I'm not trying to diss anyone, but there's a different energy there.
Yeah. Right.
And that's what's really cool that you guys do that. And I feel that's harder than being in a cover band.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's just a choice, you know, it's a preference, I think. And I mean, there's a lot of the great cover guys in town also have done original stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they've all had writing careers and still do.
Scott Sadbury from Almost Famous.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sean Few.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys, Ken Houston.
Yep.
Ken, you know, and Ken's a songwriter, and we also worked together, and he told me I had to say his name. So,
no.
So hey, Ken.
Yeah, we'll be getting.
Don't worry, we'll edit that out.
But yeah, I mean, it's just we actually started Fevertree. Our goal was John and I. John was filling in for another band in town, the Shotgun Billies, down on Bill Street. And I went down to see him one night, and we started talking when he was on break, and we're like, "Hey, man, let's put together a band, you know, let's jam." And so our goal was to play the Arlington on the Square thing. So when we finally got the band together, all the covers we were choosing weren't most popular. We were like, yeah, let's pick stuff we like.
Right. Right.
And so we never got that gig. But
so for anyone that doesn't know, that's John Patterson from Tora Tora.
Right. That's correct.
And so this happened in 2014, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 2014, we found our guitar player, Mike. Actually, it was on, I think, Band Mix. And
I remember Band
Mix. too. And we saw some videos that he had posted trying to sell some guitars, but John or myself, we were both too cheap to buy the premium membership to get his address.
I understand.
But we finally did, and we contacted Mike, and then we got Mike, and then our original bass player, his name was Kyle, and that's how it started, and we were doing, working up cover tunes and just having a good time.
When did it switch to, hey, let's start writing?
I would say about 2 years into it. We our first I guess big show that we did was a benefit for Patrick Francis.
Okay.
For at Minglewood, and it was Tora Tora played. Roxy Blue, Every Mother's Nightmare, the Shotgun Billies, Zach Myers was there.
Okay.
It was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And of course, we got up and did, about 20, 25 minutes, some cover tunes, but we had a blast. But it was after that, and John is the one that brought it up. We were at rehearsal one night, and we'd taken a break. John likes to deer hunt, and so like right now we sort of slow down every year. But we had taken a break, and we'd gotten back together to jam. And he said, "Hey, what do y'all want to do this year?" And Mike and I had already been talking, and we'd actually worked on a few ideas together. And we said, "Man, let's write. Let's do a record. Let's try to write a record, and we'll record it and see what happens." And so that's how it started.
Yeah.
And since then, that's just sort of been what we've been doing.
Right. Okay. And you mentioned Patrick Francis. That is the bass player for Tora Tora.
Right.
And another that band just, I love them.
Yeah. I've known those guys for a long time. I've known John since my early days. Since about 87, I think. Yeah. Is when we met. And they were really supportive. I was in a band called Dots back then. And they had a speculative deal with Ardent. Tora Tora did. Yeah. And one of the producers there, the guy that ended up producing them, Paul Ebersole, and he ended up signing some more bands with Ardent. And so it was, at the time, it was Tora Tora and a band called TNA.
I know who that is.
And the Eric Gales band. Yep. And us. And we had to change our name. They didn't like Dots. So
why not?
I don't know. They wanted us to go in a more Southern blues rock thing, and Dots was more, I think, progressive. And so we changed the name. We became Johnny Gray. And Tora was always extremely supportive of us, and we all were. We all worked together, all four of those bands, a lot back then. And anyway, that's how John and I met years and years ago, and we've done shows together at the Daisy. Another band I was in called Madman. They asked us to play at Mud Island with them the second time. The first time was them and Roxy Blue. And man, it was packed. Right. That place was, I've never seen that place that crowded before. But we played the second time they played there with the Eric Gales band. Okay. And Tora Tora. And I was in a band called Madman.
Madman?
Madman. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, what song did we play back in this band we used to play in? We played a Tora Tora song. Do you remember?
We did Walking Shoes. We
Walking
sure did.
Shoes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it would, for me, because I've been in Memphis since 2011, so I have no history here. Yeah. So when they brought this song up, I was like, oh, it's a cool song. Yeah. What band's that? And then everyone's like, oh my God, it's Tora Tora in Memphis. Right. So I was like playing a cover song for a local band. Yeah. It was pretty interesting.
We had fun. For about a year, we did that cover.
Yeah. It was a fun song.
Yeah. So tell us about Fevertree. You've got 2 albums out?
Yeah. Well, our first one came out January of 2018. And that was Lessons Learned was the name of that record. And a lot of the lyric content on that record is about lessons learned. Sure. Just life and things we've learned, over the years. And then the second came out last year.
And that's Social Mediocrity.
Social Mediocrity.
Mediocrity. Not mediocrity. Sorry.
But same thing.
Yeah. The album is not mediocre. No. So every band has a different process, and it's always interesting to me on how a band writes. Are you guys like a democracy? Or is it someone comes up with a riff and you jam on it and then you're thinking of words in the background, or the words come first and then the music comes second? Is it just a mixture of all that?
A mixture. We've Mike and I, he had a lot of riffs that he had presented to other projects he had been in that nothing ever happened with. And so we usually it'd be like a riff, like a verse and a chorus, we come up with, and then we bring it into the band and everybody. But more recently, they like to joke about it. They'll go, yeah, he'll have a riff and they'll start jamming on it. And I'll say, hold on, wait a minute. And I'll go outside and I'll say, keep playing it. And I go outside and smoke a cigarette and take a notepad and I'll come back in, have some lyrics and then we'll finish it from there. So we have that. And John, I think the song you guys are going to play, actually, the intro to that song was an exercise thing that he did. And he brought it in. He said, what about this? And so,
That's cool.
it built from that,
Well, while we're talking about it, want to play it?
Sure, man.
Play it?
Awesome.
So yeah, we're going to play the song Social Mediocrity off their latest album, Social Mediocrity.
Right.
And those who are watching this on YouTube, we're going to throw up some slides and some pictures of Tim and the band, and that way you're not looking at us just staring at each other. So, all right, so let's do it here, and we'll be right back after the song here.
Social mediocrity
Well, that was awesome. Yep. Thanks for letting us play that.
Thanks for playing it, man.
Appreciate it. I hope everyone enjoyed that song. So tell us about that song. What is that song about?
Well, it's about just social media and how I think we've lost the art of doing this, like talking. And there actually is a line in the chorus that says, I like you, you like me, now we are friends, you see. I can just turn you off if we seem to disagree. And that's sort of, what it's become,
Yeah.
It was funny when right when the record was about to come out, we had already started advertising for it and stuff. And do you know Angela and Chelsea McKenzie? They come to a lot of the shows and stuff. Anyway, and we were at it was the Skinner tribute with. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it was at Neil's, and I think it's play some Skinner or something is what it's called.
I have seen that.
But it was the first night they played, and we actually had a gig that night, and it got canceled. We were playing with a band called the Comancheros at the High Tone, and it got canceled because it was the ice storm and the power was out down there.
Okay.
So we decided to go out and check that out. So we were there, and we were John and Mike, guitar player, and myself were sitting at the end of the table, and we all three had our phones. And Angela walks by and she goes, huh? Because she was talking about the name of the record.
Right.
And we're like, yeah, you caught us.
So, we're all guilty of it. Absolutely. We're all guilty of it.
So
a question I always like to ask, how was the recording process for this album? Did you guys go into a full-blown studio? Did you do a lot of stuff from computer? Because a lot of people now use home computers, and it's made recording a lot, I guess you could say, easier. For me, it would be more difficult. But so you guys actually went in the studio to do this?
Yeah, good friend of ours. His name's Dan Ward.
I know who Dan is.
You know Dan? Okay, so Dan had... on the first record, he had a place down in the Cooper Young area. It used to be the old Black Lodge Lounge, I think, and there was a studio upstairs.
I've been in there.
Okay, yeah. Sean Lane recorded there.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so anyway, Dan had that place, and Dan and I had worked together, and so we talked to him, and he's like, yeah, he'd love to do it. And so we went in and did our first one there, and we just really enjoyed the process with him because it was basically, live. We went in and cut, all the, drums, bass, rhythm guitar tracks live, and then we came back and
you went in there nice and rehearsed, so you could just punch them out.
Yeah, we had, most of those songs we had been playing for a while when we recorded that record, so it was. It went quicker as far as the basic tracks and everything.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
The second record, we had most of the songs we had been playing for a good bit, but there were some. I wrote some of the lyrics on the way down there. Matter of fact, it might have been the Social Mediocrity, but I know there was another song, Believer, that I wrote the lyrics on the back of an old lottery ticket on the way down to the studio, and it turned out really well. So.
You hear stories from stand-up comedians all the time. They think of something, they look for a napkin or something just to write it down and then put it in their pocket. They don't lose it.
That's absolutely how that worked out.
So they say this all the time. You have years to write your first record and then a year to write the second one. Typically when you get to a label, you spend all this time, nurturing this music and this album, and then, okay, good, now we need another one in 6 months.
Right.
What was the time span between between the two albums?
The release, I think it was about 3 years. So I think it was 2018, and then this one came out. And, it was done in 2021. We released it in 2022, so 3 years.
Mm.
But, it's plenty of time.
Yeah.
We weren't really rushed. We're actually, writing songs now for a third one, hopefully,
Great. I was going to ask if you had any new material coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, we do, and we're actually going in the second week in December to record just one song, and we've been playing the song live from the beginning, and it's a cover tune from a guitarist in Austin, Texas, named Ian Moore, and the name of the song is Muddy Jesus. Is the name of the song, but we've been playing it for almost 8 years.
Yeah.
And so now when we play it live, a lot of people think it's our song because we play it our way, and we rock it up, and but it's always our ender.
Yeah.
So,
the closer.
Right, yeah. And so, but we're real excited about getting in and recording it, and we've had some requests to record it. So
I had to explain to someone that Hard to Handle was not a Black Crowes song.
Right.
So some bands just make a cover song their own.
Oh yeah,
they really do. That's just synonymous with that band. You know,
we've got a few that there's like. I was talking to you guys earlier about whenever we want to raise money to record, we'll go out and do our cover sets and all that. But we've there's a few. I'd say four songs that we have done from the get-go. One's a Government Mule song, and then there's actually a Chris Stapleton was in a bluegrass band called the Still Drivers, and we do a rock version of a Still Drivers tune.
Yeah.
And, stuff like that we have fun with, and we've made it sort of our thing,
Yeah.
But
I've done some Steel Drivers covers.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. With Nick Garrison.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I was sleeping.
I love that record. I think it was Reckless.
That's
the one that I think Chris Stapleton, they got some Grammys and a lot of awards from that record.
Right.
It's really good.
So you mentioned raising money.
Right.
And it made me think of something we were talking about earlier, raising money for a different reason, not so much for putting together your album, but what I've noticed quickly is bands like yourself do a lot of benefits.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's really special. And do you find yourself creating a good network with other bands because of sharing bills on all these different benefits y'all do?
Absolutely. The Fast Mothers and our band, I've been friends with Tracy for a long time. I've known him almost as long as John, probably. And because we did shows together back in the day.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Chris there, but Chris wasn't playing then. Actually, Tracy was playing drums back
Thrust.
in Thrust days, yeah. And so I've known those guys for a long time, and they've been actually the first time that we played out doing all original music. They were playing at Stage Top, and we opened for them. And they've just been extremely supportive and helped us. But since then, we've done a lot of shows, benefits and not. We've done. They played with us when we did our CD release. We played with them when they did their CD release. So we've shared a lot of time together, and we love those guys. And
that's awesome. And then they're a super supportive band of just Memphis music and promoting the heck out of it. And I see posts from them all the time. Get out and see a local band.
Yeah. They do.
It's great.
They do. They're better at it than most of us. I'm just lazy. I should get on there more and do stuff like that. But whenever I can, I do. So doing the benefits. It's been really cool. You're doing it for a good cause, and I don't know that anyone that's asked us we've ever turned it down.
Right.
I mean, it's been a way to get out and play, and the Memphis music community. It's not that it's tight and it's like family, and it's not. I mean, it's big, I guess, but it's not like. Everybody,
right?
Yeah. You the musicians, the people coming to see you play, and,
right?
And it's just been really cool. It's a lot different to me now than it was back in the '80s when it was so competitive. And
right.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I love about doing this is that we get to meet people like you, because I've been out to see these people perform, and I don't always necessarily get to meet them or say hi during the show, but now. These people are coming in here to talk to us and to talk to you, and it's great.
Oh, this is awesome. I think this is so cool, that you guys are doing this and supporting Memphis and the surrounding area and the music and everything. It's really cool. We need something like this.
So going back to the benefit thing, if someone calls you, they want Fevertree to play this benefit, headline the benefit. Is it sort of then, do they lean on you to get the other bands?
No.
Or usually they're like, we want these 3 bands.
Yeah,
and
they usually
call out.
And it's never been they've never asked us to like headline or anything. We don't know the order of the bands until the day of, and or maybe a few days before or whatever. But nobody cares. It's like let's just go have some fun. Let's try to raise some money for whatever cause we're doing it for.
And I will say this too. We talked early on that we wanted to talk about venues and musicians and everything, but Neil's seems to really do a lot as far as having benefit shows at their establishment, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Do you feel it seems like Neil's is more friendly with original acts? Am I correct in saying that, or are they just pretty much like any other venue?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard as an original act to get gigs, and I don't fault anyone for that. They're trying to make money,
sure,
and so they do. But I do think that there are people that want that. There's a demand for it. I think, and I think
absolutely
that if clubs would just give it a chance. I mean, like. Once a month or once every couple of months, have some original bands in there. I think it would do really well over time.
Over the years, have there been venues and clubs like back in the 90s and stuff that were more friendly?
Yes. Yeah, that in the 80s there was a big, well, not just the 80s. I mean, you go back to even Target with Jimmy Jameson and all during that time. There were a lot of venues that. In the 70s and 80s that had original music. And there, in the 80s, there was a big movement here. There were a lot of bands that got signed major record deals from here. Tora Tora, Eric Gales, and not just in the 80s. I mean, you had Saliva and Jimmy Davidson Junction and John Kilzer. I think I read an article or something that Tom Zutaut signed him, who also signed Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue.
Yeah.
It signed John Kilzer.
Some small bands.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, you're right. In the 80s, this area was huge with original rock music. And, and it was a blast to be here. We had the Stage Stop, which was a great venue. It's unfortunately no longer there, but
man, that place,
Rascals, is no longer there.
Rascals,
man, we had such a great time. Yeah,
that place. Woo.
Well, let's talk about Rascals.
Okay.
I'm getting educated with every word that's spoken in the studio now that I get to meet y'all, because like I said, I came here in 2011 and this wasn't in the original scene. So after I meet Jeff Ward here, who's from here, I hear these stories about old bands and old places and all that.
Right.
But a lot of the people listening to this are on my YouTube channel that have no idea. They're not Memphis at all. So it'd be kind of cool to educate a little bit. So what is, and you've mentioned Rascals before. So I'm like, well, it's the third, maybe fourth time I've heard that name come up. Let's talk about it. And you guys are both laughing about it.
Well,
I'll let you take the reins.
Yeah, let's learn about Rascals.
Rascals was an after hours bar. It was on the square right across from Lafayette's upstairs. I don't know what it is now.
It was over Yosemite Sam's.
Yeah, Yosemite Sam's was downstairs.
Yeah.
And
what part of town again? I'm sorry.
In Midtown, where Lafayette's is,
gotcha.
On the square, Overton Square. It was right across the street.
I'm guessing the square looked a little different back then.
A lot different.
They would have the pub crawl back then, and it would be 100,000 people up and down that street. So. But anyway, so Rascals was after hours. So all the Memphis bands played there, and a lot of original music. But there were cover bands that played there as well. But also touring bands that were coming through town knew about it, and they would come up there. And so you had the guys from from Warrant.
Yeah, I was in there the night that Warrant came in.
They just came in to hang out?
Yep.
Because
They played Mud Island, I believe. That's where they played.
So it's the only place you can go and get a beer at 3 in the morning.
Well,
they just
one
knew.
of your guests that's coming on soon, Todd, was friends with Janie Lane, I think, the singer.
Yep.
And so they came up. I think, matter of fact, one of the times when they were there, my band was opening for Roxy Blue up there.
Okay.
And so, I have stories I'll tell you off of
Right.
here. but anyway, so yeah, it was, everybody knew about the place, but man, it would get rowdy in there sometimes, and I can't count the people I saw go down those stairs.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it was just one
bouncers just.
Oh yeah.
They got either thrown down or they fell down because they were drinking way too much.
So yeah, that place was pretty wild. And but Stage Stop, like you brought up, Nita. I mean, that place was a mainstay for every.
And that was also in the square?
No, that was in Raleigh, Rockin' Raleigh.
The Stage Stop was Memphis's version of the Viper Room, or
I remember.
It was
hearing about that room. That room's not open anymore.
No.
Oh, okay. Because that just recently then closed, probably over the last few years.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
But man, in its heyday, you could. There would be a line around that building, people waiting on people to come out so they could go in.
Right. Wow.
And so Nita always supported, great road, bands coming in off the road, but also Memphis music and Memphis original music. The New Daisy, Mike Glenn and the New Daisy was another spot down on Bill Street that really, you could actually go in there on a big stage in a big room and do your stage show and, play your songs, and you felt like you were a rock star.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing back in the 80s. So,
well, look, we know it's deer hunting season, so not much going on right now.
Right.
And you're writing, maybe working towards an album, but what does the future look like? As far as when we roll into 2023, does the band have any new plans, or just gonna gig and do everything you guys have been doing?
We'll probably do it like we're doing now. Mm-hmm. We're actually talking to or started working with actually a booking agency and management company out of Nashville, and that just started. So we're curious to see what happens with that. And we're writing new songs for the new record, and we all have jobs, and we do those, and we write, and we get out and play when we can. We have fun with it, I wouldn't change it for anything.
Well, keep doing what you're doing, because the music is awesome, and if you're listening, just check out Fevertree. The 2 albums they have out now are excellent. So.
Yeah, I have all kinds of places where I want to send people to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all of this will be in the description too. But the website, fevertreeband.com. And then YouTube, Fevertree Memphis.
Yeah.
And then your socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, Facebook and Instagram is Fevertree Memphis.
Right.
And then Twitter is Fevertree M.
Yeah. I don't know about Twitter. I'm not the Twitter guy.
You don't seem like a Twitter guy. But I just pulled it off your website,
right?
But I'm not a Twitter person either. Whatever. But
Instagram's supposed to be the one that I do, and I've got to get busy. I'm terrible. I'm telling you. They were just telling me, they brought that up. Somebody just texted me yesterday about that. Who's in charge of our Instagram?
Uh-oh. Me. And both albums are on Spotify, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Anywhere else that they can find the albums on?
You can buy them from iTunes or Apple Music, Amazon Music, on all of the digital platforms where you can buy music. You can buy it there.
And can they buy it on your website?
Yes, and you can actually buy a physical copy of this. We have CDs right now.
Holy smokes, those still exist?
Yeah, because they're cheap. But we would like to have them press vinyl. I have a really good connection for that, but it's still expensive.
Yeah.
And you can't just press 10 records, right?
No. I mean, there's a minimum order, and I still have to go through the channels, but maybe one day, you know.
You never know.
Maybe.
Well, look, man, thanks so much again for making this trip down here. It was a pleasure meeting you.
You too. And thanks for having me, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So.
Awesome. And we'll definitely make a point to come see you guys again.
Yep.
And whenever I'm trying to keep track now of all the bands I'm getting to know. I'm like, who's playing where, you know? But anything else, Jeff?
No,
Did you have another question?
we're looking forward to getting the rest of the band in here and talk to them too. Maybe hopefully they talk good about you.
Oh, good God. John, get ready.
Yeah.
Oh, let me say hi to Mike and Rocco and John. Hey guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if I even said, told their names, but anyway.
No, you did.
Okay, good.
But I'm going to edit it out. No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, but yeah, your band's awesome. You guys are awesome. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about you. And anyone listening and watching, please check them out. Fevertreeband.com. You can find everything else through the website. And we'll see if we can get you some listens there.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right. You got
appreciate it.